Okay, hello. Good morning. Happy Saturday. All right, welcome back to our December week 3, the last lesson of the year. All right, so yeah, if you sorry about last week. Yeah, I was not feeling very well. So if you need the video last week, okay, can you request from me? But I only have the Mandarin version. Okay, I'm sorry to say. Okay, so if you need video from last week, you let me know. All right, so what are we doing today? We are here. We were here. Okay, what should I say? All right, so last week we are supposed to be here. Okay, factors affecting growth of microorganism. Okay, I'll quickly go into this and we will go into the exercise. Right, so if you haven't attended week 4, you can request video from me too. Okay, because this week you're supposed to attend 2 lessons. Week 4, I have the video. Okay, I have English version as well. But week 3 sorry, the one in week 2, unfortunately, the one I only have it in Mandarin. Okay, so factors affecting growth of microorganism, that would be your humidity. Okay, as I said last week, the higher the humidity, the higher the growth of microorganism. Okay, because the more humid it is, there's more water. Microorganisms, they always like water. Okay, for obvious reasons. And light, this thing is very divided. Okay, if light increase when it has chlorophyll, it will increase as well. Okay, but if bacteria and fungi, those without chlorophyll, they will decrease in fact. All right, so why? Because fungi and bacteria, they don't really like light. Okay, light is a very, because they have UV. Okay, UV is going to kill them, so they don't grow very well in light. Okay, so nutrient increase, growth will increase. Okay, this is the same as humidity. And then temperature, temperature is going to be the middle guy. Okay, 35 to 40 is the optimum temperature. Anything below or higher is going to be lower. So you will see a graph like this. Okay, same as pH also. You'll see a graph like this. In the middle here is 37 degrees. In the middle here is pH 7. So temperature and pH, you cannot just say the higher growth rate. No, you cannot say higher or higher lower. No, because it's at the middle point. So take note when you're writing hypothesis for temperature and pH, we need to say the middle, which is 35 degrees, or pH 7 is the optimum temperature or optimum pH. You need to write it this way. All right, so let's go into the exercise. Okay, this is focus for today. Okay, let's go to exercise first. Okay, where will we? Okay, let's go to question 5. Question 5. This is page 20. All right, so page 5. Yes, Larvin, good morning. Okay, we are at page 20. And we just started on the exercise. All right, so figure below shows an experiment to study the effect of temperature on the growth of Bacillus sp. Okay, Bacillus. Whenever you see sp, this is a bacteria. Okay, Bacillus sp is a type of bacteria. It is one of the most common bacteria that you can find. All right, so you see temperature already. It has 7 degrees here, 37 and 77. Okay, so we put nutrient broth, we put bacterial culture. So what do we see at the end? Okay, so we put this for 3 days. So at the end, we will see something like this. Okay, 7, when the temperature is 7, the condition of the nutrient broth is slightly cloudy. Okay, What is cloudy? Cloudy means keruh. That means does it look dirty? Does it look, you know, something is inside? Okay, it is full of don't know whatever that's inside. Okay, so slightly cloudy means this thing is quite clean. Okay, there's only a little bit of cloudiness to it. Why? Because 7 is not the optimal temperature. At low temperature, bacteria, they don't grow very well. But at 37, as you can see here, oh, it is cloudy. That means bacteria is growing very well at 37. Okay, because that's the optimal temperature. 77, okay, slightly cloudy too, okay, because by 77, a lot of bacteria will die. So as I said, temperature is about that optimum temperature. You cannot go too high or too low because they just simply don't like it. All right, so state one observation of nutrient broth that was kept at 37 for 3 days. So they only one observation for this. Okay, so the nutrient broth turns cloudy. Okay, I don't know what's nutrient broth called in VM. Is it called larutan nutrient? Larutan nutrient menjadi keruh. Becomes dirty. Right, that means bacteria is growing very well. Okay, so state the hypothesis for the experiment. There's a typo here, guys. C should be down here. B is another question. They should draw a line here. Okay, but there's a typo here, so I'm gonna write my answer here. So what's the hypothesis? Okay, 37 degrees is the optimum temperature for bacterial growth. Okay, 37 Celsius adalah suhu optimum. Ini suhu optimum untuk pertumbuhan. Okay, suhu optimum untuk pertumbuhan bacteria. So as I said, for pH and temperature, you cannot say the higher it is, the higher the growth. It's not like water. The higher the humidity, the higher the growth of bacteria. It doesn't work this way. This one is about optimum temperature. So you have to say optimum temperature. You cannot say higher, lower. All right, so number 2, manipulated variable. State the variable. What's the MV? What is the thing that you're trying to change here? That would be your temperature. All right, and what's your responding variable? That would be your condition of your nutrient broth after 3 days. Or you can even write bacteria growth. Okay, bacteria growth, because they are the same thing. Okay, condition of the nutrient broth means the bacteria growth now. It represents the same thing. So both cases goes. Okay, both cases it goes. So you can write any one of it. Right, so anyway, moving on. Okay, so D, state one inference that can be made based on the observation of this experiment. Okay, inference is you explain. You explain, you see this. Okay, why do you see this? When it is cloudy. When it is 37, it is cloudy. So you explain why is it so? Okay, so why is it cloudy? Because bacteria grow well under grow well in optimum temperature. Okay, bacteria tumbuh dengan baik pada suhu optimum. Optimum temperature, optimal. I mean, grammatically, if you really want to nitpick, this optimal. You like. Okay, so bacteria they grow in optimum temperature. You can actually write back the same thing. 37 is the optimum temperature for bacterial growth. You can write back the same thing too, but I don't want to repeat my answer for hypothesis and inference. So I kind of change it a little bit. So I just say the grow and optimum temperature. Okay, so this is 2 mark, right? You can actually write another point saying that the further away from optimum temperature, the less bacteria grow. And because it's 2 marks here, you can write another point. Okay, the further away from optimum temperature, this is further away from optimum temp, less bacteria grow. Okay, semakin jauh dari suhu optimum, okay, semakin kurang pertumbuhan bacteria. Okay, I'm just going to write the keywords for PM. I don't want to write the full-blown answer. It's going to be too long. Okay, this should be a very simple exercise. Should be a very simple experiment. In fact, this is a very simple chapter. Okay, because the 5 factors is what matters for this chapter. Okay, so moving on. Let's go to question 6. So table below shows an experiment conducted to study the effect of light on growth of microorganisms. So as you can see, under bright light, there's no growth. Under dark, oh, this thing grows, you see, there are like spots on it. So as I said, usual fungi and bacteria, they don't like sunlight or any light for that matter, they just don't grow well. Unless they have chlorophyll, that's another story. But usually they don't grow well. So write the observation. Okay, so what are these called? What are these dots called? They are called bacterial colony. Okay, bacterial colonies, or just say spots. Okay, so we can say bacteria colonies formed. Okay, colony bacteria. Okay, so we have bacterial colonies there. And for bright light, okay, it stayed clear. It's the cow journey. There's no bacteria. Okay, so this is why dark and damp places is a perfect place for bacteria to grow. So this is why if you wash your clothes, okay, you don't hang them and you don't hang them in sufficient sunlight, okay, they're not going to dry well. And if it is in the dark, then you will see your shirt is going to smell, right? Okay, it's been raining the whole day, right? It's a bad day for laundry. So I'm sure your laundry kind of smells a little during rainy days because there's no sun. Plus the weather is very humid, so it goes very well. Right, so B, state one inference. Okay, we shall be kept in the dark for 2 days. They want you to explain this, not this. They want you to explain this. Okay, explain why do you see dots? Why do you see colonies here? Okay, because bacteria grow well in dark. Okay, bacteria tumbuh dengan baik gelap. Okay, di kegelapan, not gelap. Kegelapan. Okay, they grow in the dark. In the dark, sorry. So to grow in the dark. All right, so C, state one hypothesis for this experiment. So what can you, this one you can write more. Okay, the higher the light intensity. If you don't want to say light intensity, you can say the more light there is. I just don't like to say the more light it, but so the higher the light intensity, okay, the less, say less, okay, lower the rate of growth. Okay, or you get along the line of it lah. Okay, the less light, the better bacteria grow. Can, as simple as it sounds, can. Semakin rendah, semakin kurang cahaya, semakin baik bacteria bertumbuh. Can, no problem. I like to write it my way. Keep it simple. No, nothing wrong with that. All right, so D, predict the microorganism here. I would say this is bacteria, although protozoa can be this way too. Protozoa is actually almost the same thing, unless they have chlorophyll. There are a few bacteria and protozoa that has chlorophyll, so they actually grow in the dark. Wait, that doesn't have chlorophyll. Okay, if they don't have chlorophyll, they grow in the dark. So if they have chlorophyll, then of course they will grow well in sunlight. But algae is definitely not, because algae is definitely with chlorophyll. So out of the question, definitely algae. Bacteria and protozoa is okay. But I'm going to stick with bacteria because I would say 99.9% of bacteria, they don't have chlorophyll. Right? This is how you have body odor, guys. This is how your ketiak smells. Why will bacteria only grow at your ketiak there? Because it's very dark, and when you sweat, it's humid. So this is where bacteria go. You go watch those what soap advertisement they will point here, then that's the bacteria. You need to use my soap, then the bacteria will be gone. Hello. Okay, your body smells because of bacteria. Okay, so this is why you shower every few hours. Okay, to wash them away. All right, so number 7. So to study the effect of light on the growth of microorganism. Okay, so B is kept in the dark. Well, it's the same thing. They are moist. Both they are moist. So state 1 observation for bread B after 2 days. Okay, so you can say dark spots form. Okay, bintik hitam terbentuk. This is not a spot though. These are not spots though. These are patches already. Okay, as you can see, they're pretty big. Right. So state 1 inference. Okay, what can you explain about this? I said just now. Bacteria grow well. Okay, bacteria tumbuh dengan baik di kegelapan. Alright, so what is this? Should be your mucor lah. Your mucor. You want to say bacillus also can. Spirogyra, this is definitely out. As I said, this is algae. Algae has no place here. Alright, so state 1 hypothesis. Same as just now lah. Okay, the more light, the less bacteria grow. So based on this experiment, state the operational definition of growth of fungi. Okay, again, this is what they're asking for every time, isn't it? Okay, if they ask for definition for something, write that something first. Okay, since they want growth of fungi, right? So growth of fungi is, they want the definition for growth of fungi, what? The meaning for growth of fungi, what? So we say growth of fungi is what? What's the meaning of kepercayaan kepada Tuhan? Kepercayaan kepada Tuhan ialah, okay, start from here first. Okay, pertumbuhan. Here it's called kulap, isn't it? Okay, pertumbuhan kulap ialah, okay, what is it? Okay, it should be based on what you see. What do you see here? You see dark spots form on bread, right? Okay, so the growth of bacteria, the growth of fungi depends on how much dark spots you see. Okay, in a way, okay, it depends on how big of a dark spot do you see, or do they even have any dark spot? So the more dark spot there is, the better they grow. So the dark spot is the dark spot here tells you about the fungi growth. So you write this based on what you see. So what is the growth of fungi? Growth of fungi is the area of dark spots on bread. Okay, the growth is the area. So the more growth, the bigger the area. Okay, pertumbuhan kulap ialah luas permukaan hitam bentuk ada roti. Okay, so it's represented by the dark spot. So again, operational definition should be about observation, right? Okay, about what you see. All right, so next, let's look at number 8. State 5 factors that affect the growth of microorganisms. Here, as you know lah, humidity, kelembapan. You write yourself lah, I'm just lazy. You have your light. Okay, you have your nutrient. You have temperature. And you have pH. 5 factors. It's too straightforward lah. Your exam is not gonna just ask for, list all the factors. I'm not gonna do that because it's too straightforward. All right, but hey, they're asking for it, so just give them. Okay, so B, by using the apparatus set up in figure below, suggest 5 different ways to measure the rate of carbon dioxide production from the action of yeast in sugar solution at different temperature. Okay, let's talk about yeast. Okay, let's talk about yeast. Okay, yeast, you haven't learned this yet. Okay, you will learn this in next year, chapter 4. Okay, but what is yeast? I'm sure you have heard of yeast before. You use yeast in making bread. You use yeast in making alcohol, right? I'll go into that. I'll go into that later. What is yeast? Okay, well, I'll talk about yeast later. But the process of yeast is what you learn next year. Okay, but anyway, I'll give you a sneak peek. Yeast, they will do something called fermentation. Okay, penyampaian. Basically, this is to change glucose. Okay, before that, let's talk about respiration. I'm sure you know what is respiration, right? Respiration is what not your breathing, guys. Not that. Respiration is the process every one of your cell does. Okay, do you still remember? You learned this before, come on. Okay, glucose plus oxygen, you get carbon dioxide, water, and energy. This is how your mitochondria gives you energy. This is how you get energy. You break down sugar with oxygen. You take in oxygen from the air, you eat sugar, then they break down, you get energy. Okay, what happens? Yeast, they do the same thing. Okay, yeast, they do the same thing. But something magical will happen when we take away the oxygen. Okay, when you do this, when you give glucose and oxygen to yeast, they're going to do the same thing as us humans because every cell do this, every cell does this, every living thing does this. But here's the thing, yeast, when you take away their oxygen, they are going to do fermentation. What happened here is this glucose, instead of changing into carbon dioxide, water, and energy, now they will change into something called ethanol and carbon dioxide. Okay, so what is this ethanol? Ethanol is alcohol lah. Okay, so fermentation is the process they do to make alcohol, right? You just need to give it any glucose to your yeast. You just need to close them off, cut away their oxygen supply. They will ferment whatever sugar you give them. Okay, any sugar, any fruits or crops that has sugar, you give it to yeast, they're going to ferment it for you. Okay, penyampaian. So this is why you have many different alcohol. Okay, when you ferment rice like us Asians do, you get rice wine, right? Me too, rice wine, because it's alcohol made from rice. When you do it to grapes, you get wine. Okay, this is why you see, grape got how many color? You have the purple color grape. Okay, you have the white color grape. This is why you have red wine and white wine. Because of the different color of the grape, that's why you get different wine. Okay, if you ferment wheat, it's wheat, the thing you use to make your flour, your wheat, okay, your wheat flour. If you go and ferment wheat, you're gonna get beer. This is how fermentation happens. All right, but Okay, I'll talk about it more about this later. Okay, but our point here is the carbon dioxide. Okay, fermentation releases carbon dioxide. Okay, so as you can see here, so there are different ways to measure the rate of carbon dioxide. Why do we measure the rate of carbon dioxide? It measures the growth of yeast. The faster they do fermentation, the faster yeast grow, the more carbon dioxide they produce. Okay, so there's three here. There's catching it with balloon. There is putting it in a container, channeling it to lime water. There's putting it in a bottle, okay, in a conical flask, and then channeling it to a syringe. Okay, so there are many ways to measure carbon dioxide. Okay, so let's look at what are they. Okay, so how do they work? What are they asking again? 5 different ways. Okay, what are the ways to measure? Okay, number one, what do? You trap it in balloon. Okay, you trap the carbon dioxide in balloon. So what do you see here? Can you see 20 degrees, it releases this much. 30, there's more. 40, there's more, because 40 is the best temperature. 50, the yeast died. Okay, there's nothing already. So they died, right? But they're not active. Okay, so method one. Okay, how does this work? You write this. Okay, so you determine volume of CO2 released. Okay, by trapping, by collecting it in balloon. Okay, or you measure, this is how we measure the volume of CO2. Okay, the real way to measure CO2 is to use syringe. Okay, but hey, this is a very visual thing, easy to see. You see, do I need to tell you that, oh, 40 has more volume than 30? No, so straightforward. Okay, because it is what it is. This is what you see. Okay, so they want you to suggest a different way. This is one of the way. All right, so next, diagram Y. Okay, can you see this diagram has 3 methods? Okay, because in the same setup, there's 3 ways for you to measure carbon dioxide. Number one is by looking at the foam. Can you see thickness of foam? The higher the temperature, the more foam you have. Okay, because this is the CO2. Okay, this is the CO2. But at 50, this thing just take a dip because it just become inactive. Okay, so what do? Okay, measure the thickness of foam, okay, on the surface. Okay, this is the foam. Okay, so measure the thickness because the thicker it is, the more CO2 there is. Okay, so besides measuring the thickness, you can also do this. Okay, bubbles are released like this, right? You can don't measure the foam, you can count the bubbles. It's the same thing. Okay, you count the number of bubbles in form. Okay, give it a time in say 30 seconds. Okay, menghitungkan jumlah gelembung terbentuk dalam 30 saat. Okay, bubble is gelembung. All right, so method 4, is there another way? Okay, that's actually, okay, can you see this place here? What is this? This is your lime water. Air kapur. You learned this in Form 3. What is the point of this lime water? Lime water is to measure carbon dioxide. When they react with carbon dioxide, when you put carbon dioxide into lime water, they will turn from transparent. Lime water looks transparent like your normal water. They will turn chalky. They will turn cloudy. Cloudy, as I said, they look keruh when there's carbon dioxide. So what do? You measure how fast they turn cloudy lah. Okay, so you bubble carbon dioxide through lime water. Okay, so you determine time taken to turn cloudy. Okay, melalui air kapur, menentukan masa diambil untuk menjadi keruh. So see how long lor. So if you use 40 degrees, maybe this thing will turn cloudy in 10 seconds. If you use 20 degree, maybe it will turn cloudy in 20 seconds because it's not optimum. The closer you are to 40, the faster it turns to cloudy. You know what I'm trying to say here? So there's three things we're going to measure here. Okay, you can look at the foam, you can look at the bubble, you can look at the lime water. So there's actually three ways to measure carbon dioxide here. All right, so the last one, okay, this is the most straightforward. You just collect this in syringe. Okay, so you measure the volume of carbon dioxide released in, okay, give it a time. How much, okay, how long is it? 1 hour. 1 hour. Mengukur isi padu karbon dioksida dibebaskan dalam 1 jam. Okay, in 1 hour, how much do they release? Now, this is the most scientific one because you can actually see the volume. These are you don't really see the volume here. Okay, it's just a very visual thing to see. Okay, but you get the point. The higher the temperature, the closer towards optimum, the more carbon dioxide is released. Okay, which is why you see at 40 here, it has the highest rate of everything. Okay, same thing here. Anything beyond that, this thing will take a dip. Okay, this is why if you want to ferment something, if you are okay, let's say you're a brewery. You know, it's a brewery. Brewery are places where they brew beer, okay, or any alcohol for that matter. So if you're a brewery, if you're a brewery company, you would brew your beer at 40 degrees. This is where you produce the most alcohol. Okay, brewing takes a long time, guys. If you're brewing like beer, beer will take you at least like few years to brew. Okay, so this is why the beer you drink today, I mean, drink beer, the beer you drink today is really fermented like from few years back. Okay, so there's like a delay. So it's not easy to produce alcohol. It is like it costs a lot of money. I mean, in Malaysia anyway, because of the tax. Yeah, just saying. All right, so this is your factors in studying your bacteria, in studying your microorganism. Right, so let's come back to our notes, shall we? Let's go back to our notes. Okay, if you need week 4 video, let me know, because week 4 this week 4 was in Monday. Yeah, it was in Monday. I already finished this whole chapter on Monday. Okay, the past Monday. Okay, so let's look at our all these are simple experiments. Okay, so let's look at our useful microorganism today. Right, this is where I talk about yeast later. All right, so let's talk about this useful microorganism. Okay, so where do we use them? This is also one of the most important part in this chapter. So I would say the most important part for this chapter is going to be the 5 factors. Okay, and these useful microorganisms. Okay, that 5 types of microorganisms, not so much. Okay, I hate to say it, even though we spend so much time learning that 5 types, where do they live, how do they feed themselves, how's their nutrition, how do they reproduce? Yeah, we spend a lot of time there, but unfortunately, that's also the part that we don't really ask. Okay, they don't really ask an exam. Okay, you ask me what? That's the way it is. Okay, so let's look at our useful microorganism. Where do we use it? Okay, number 1, let's look at industry. Okay, so where do we use microorganism? All right, you have to know, microorganism is a very lucrative business. Okay, it is very good in mass producing stuff. So number 1, beverage. Lactobacillus, okay, bacteria is used in producing milk beverage such as yogurt. Okay, so what is your lactobacillus? This is that bacteria that is found in your gut. Okay, you eat yogurt, you drink Vitagen or Yakult to make your gut healthier. Okay, so eating this makes your gut healthy. You're less likely to get colon cancer, to get indigestion, to get any kind of food poisoning. Okay, because this lactobacillus actually protects your health, protects your gut. Okay, so talking about this yogurt, okay, you can actually make this yourself. Do you know this? Okay, as long as you have this lactobacillus, you can actually make this yourself. Okay, say for example, okay, my favorite yogurt is not any stupid Western yogurt. Okay, that's not really my thing. My favorite yogurt is gonna be lassi. Okay, lassi is awesome. I don't know why lassi they just taste awesome to me. Okay, do you know you can make this at home? I mean, if you are free lah, you can make lassi at home. So what do you do? Okay, what do? You go to any curry house. Okay, not mama. Okay, mama, you don't sell lassi one. Okay, you go to any Indian curry house. Okay, you can ask the ane, do they sell any starter? Okay, what is a starter? From that big pot of lassi, they will take one scoop and then they will sell it to you. Why? Because that one scoop has the bacteria inside, which is this thing. So what you do is, okay, you buy that starter bag. Okay, that's called a starter because you start your making your yogurt by using that cup of bacteria. So what do? Okay, you go home. Okay, you can get milk as well. Okay, you get milk from Nane, or you can just buy milk from supermarket. You put that milk in a pot. Okay, put it in a pot or any container lah. You put that starter in. Okay, because that starter has the bacteria. You put it in. You close it off. Remember, you need to close it because this is fermentation. You need to close it. You cannot give oxygen to yeast, okay, or this bacteria. So you close it, you put it in the fridge. Okay, put it in the fridge, and you wait for like, I don't know, a few days. Yeah, my wife actually made this once. You put it in the fridge, you wait for a few days. So a few days later, when you take it out, your milk is gonna curd. Okay, what is curding? Okay, basically your milk will turn hard. Okay, they kind of look like cheese now. Okay, they smell like it too. And when you taste it, it's gonna be a little bit sour. Not a bit lah, it's gonna be very sour. That's your yogurt lah. That's your lassi. You can make lassi at home. So this is your yogurt already. Then you can eat it. And before you do so, before you eat that, you can keep 1 cup of it as your starter. Okay, so next time when you make it, you can put this starter back again. This thing will start fermenting again. Because you see, when you put that starter in, they will reproduce and populate the whole yogurt. Now your whole tub of yogurt is this bacteria. So you save some of the bacteria for future use. So as long as you keep making it, as long as you keep making yogurt, this starter is gonna live. It's gonna live. Okay, because every time we just save a little bit of it, next time we let them reproduce again, we save a little bit again. So as you keep making it, this bacteria will keep staying alive. Okay, awesome. Yogurt is good for you. Okay, I mean, real yogurt, okay, unflavored, as in white color lassi, okay, yeah, sure, mango lassi tastes awesome too, but I don't like that extra sugar. Okay, you see, what I don't like about commercial yogurt is it's very sweet and it has those stupid artificial flavoring. Okay, when you buy that strawberry yogurt, do you think it really put strawberry inside? No, they just put flavoring. Okay, that's why the strawberry, if you buy those like Nestle yogurt, if you eat those with fruits, they are gonna taste, they just taste kind of artificial, right? Because they put artificial flavoring, because for all they care, you think they're gonna put real fruit for you? One small cup of yogurt only costs you like what, $1 or $2. You think they should go put raw fruit for you? You slow wait lah, it's not gonna happen. So the best is to make it yourself. Okay, or you can, if you're too lazy, okay, it's okay. You can just buy yogurt from supermarket, but not flavored ones. Buy unflavored yogurt, as in the white color yogurt. Sure, it's gonna taste awful, okay, because the thing is very sour. You can come home and add the fruits yourself. Why not do that? Okay, so next, let's look at food. Where do we use our microorganism? Okay, the most is going to be our yeast. Okay, as I said, if you circle this thing, because every year SPM market, next year we're taking SPM, right? Okay, next year SPM, yeast is going to come out a lot. Okay, you will see yeast like every year. Okay, so what do we use yeast for? Okay, as I said just now, we do fermentation, we use it to make alcohol. Okay, we use it to make alcohol, okay, which is ethanol. Okay, I said ethanol just now, right? Because ethanol is a type of alcohol. Okay, ethanol is the alcohol. So not only this, we can also use the carbon dioxide of the yeast to make bread. Okay, to make bread. Okay, you see, just now I told you fermentation will produce carbon dioxide, right? This is also the reason why we use this to rise cake dough or bread dough. Have you eaten roti canai before? Have you seen those unnamed roti canai? Before they make roti canai, okay, I mean fresh ones lah. From that counter of making roti canai, they will go to the bottom. They will take one big bucket out, and inside the bucket is many dough of the roti canai. So what is it doing down there? Fermenting lah. Fermenting lah. You see, the longer I leave the yeast to do fermentation, the more carbon dioxide I produce. The more carbon dioxide I produce, the more I will rise the dough. So my bread will turn very fluffy. The longer I let it ferment, the more fluffy it gets. This is how you make fluffy bread. You add yeast, you just let that sit for, as long as you want. Okay, so this is why when you eat roti canai, okay, have you tried chapati before? Chapati and roti canai is very different. Chapati is without fermentation one. That's why chapati they taste kind of solid. Okay, there's no airy feeling to it. But when you eat roti canai, it's very airy, it's very fluffy because of the air, because they've been fermenting that. Okay, so that's a yeast. You see, they are very useful. So as I said, they are used to make your alcoholic drink. Okay, they are used to make your alcoholic drink. So your beer, your rice wine. Okay, rice wine is very common in Chinese and Koreans. Okay, we drink it. Okay, I mean traditionally we drink it, but I don't really like rice wine. They taste kind of Chinese. Okay, maybe alcohol is not your thing. Okay, but okay lah. You might say, sir, how can you enjoy alcohol? Okay, any of you here enjoy alcohol? Okay, I bet you don't, because you might think that alcohol is the most disgusting drink ever because it's just so bitter, isn't it? Okay, it just doesn't taste good. I used to think like you too, right? When I was your age, I think beer is like the worst thing ever. How do people drink this thing? It's so bitter, it's so gassy, it's so pointless. Okay, what's the point? Okay, oh, trust me, when you go into my age, okay, you will love beer. Okay, you love alcohol. I don't know about you, okay, but I certainly do. All right, so that's the alcohol. Yeah, something about this alcohol. Okay, if you naturally ferment your alcohol, okay, naturally ferment without doing anything, the highest percentage of alcohol you can go is roughly around 15 to 18%. Okay, so that's a wine. If you buy red wine or white wine, the highest you can go is 15 to 18%. Okay, you might start to say, why is it so? Then you might say, sir, then how about whiskey? Whiskey is 40%. Okay, any of your dads drink whiskey? Okay, whiskey or vodka or rum or tequila or any of these strong alcohol, we call it spirit. Okay, all these strong alcohol is what we call spirit. Okay, anything that is above 30% alcohol, we call it spirit. Okay, trust me, you're gonna hate this. It's not your thing. Okay, if you even hate beer, beer is 6%. What do you think 40 is gonna taste like? Okay, it's gonna taste awful if you're not a fan of alcohol. All right, so you might say, sir, how do we get this from 15 to 18 to 40 then? Okay, so you might say, okay, first of all, why will they stop here? Why would they stop here? As you know, ethanol, do you know where else can you find ethanol? Ethanol is found in your hand sanitizer. So as you know, hand sanitizer is a disinfectant. It's an antiseptic. So alcohol is actually an antiseptic. What does it mean? It kills microorganisms. So I know it sounds very stupid, but when yeast they keep fermenting this beer, keep fermenting. When they get to the point of 15 to 18%, the alcohol will actually kill them. They make something to kill them. Okay, it's as silly as it sounds. Okay, but that's what happens. Okay, so the more you ferment your yeast, the more alcohol you produce, the more alcohol is going to kill them. Okay, so they will stop at around 15 to 18 because they just cannot stand the high concentration of carbon dioxide. The high concentration of alcohol. All right, so how do you get to 40 then? There is a process called distillation. I'm sure you know what is this. Distillation is how to make distilled water. So they will distill the alcohol and they will be left with that 40% of alcohol. Okay, which is your whiskey. Okay, whiskey is what the English drink, okay? You have Scotch whiskey as well, and then you have vodka from Russia, okay? Russians, they don't drink whiskey. Russians, they drink vodka. Okay, vodka, fun fact, vodka is made from potato. But you see, like I said, anything carbohydrate you can ferment and make alcohol. So when you ferment potato, you get vodka lah. Okay, and then in Mexico, they will ferment cactus. Okay, yes, cactus. They will actually ferment cactus, and you get a kind of alcohol called tequila. Okay, tequila. That thing is even worse. That's like 50 something percent. Basically, at that point, you are drinking hand sanitizer already. Okay, the thing is, it burns all the way down. Okay, while you drink, it hurts like hell, I tell you. Okay, so I don't know, it's a quiet taste. Okay, like me, I never used to like coffee. Okay, I used to think that as in pure coffee, guys. Okay, as in pure black Americano coffee. I used to think who the hell can drink this shit. But hey, I cannot live a day without, not a day goes by that I go without coffee. Okay, as thick as possible, as black as possible. Okay, like my freaking soul. So okay, I don't know. Okay, it's an acquired taste. Maybe you go love it someday. As well as your yeast, as you can see, yeast is a multi-billion-dollar industry business. Okay, you see, alcohol. Alcohol is one of the oldest drink of mankind. Okay, we learned about fermentation since, I don't know, thousands of years ago. Ever since Tamadun, okay, if you look at those Tamadun, Mesir Purba, like the Egyptians, okay, you look at who enjoys wine a lot, you look at the Greeks, okay, Tamadun Yunani. They even have a god dedicated to it, right? Do you know Greek mythology? Okay, that's Zeus. Zeus is the god of thunder. Hades is the god of underworld. Poseidon is the god of the sea. There is a god of wine called Dionysus. Okay, they even have a god. Okay, it's the god of the wine. So before they harvest wine, they will pray to this god for good harvest this year. Okay, so alcohol has a very long history in human. Okay, do you know alcohol is also the most deadly drug in the world? It's the most deadly substance in the world. Compared to cocaine, compared to meth, compared to any drugs, you name it, the most deadly substance every year, the substance that caused the most death every year, I think I told this in Form 4 already, a few chapters ago, the most deadly substance in human history, okay, every year, in fact, is your alcohol. Do you know how many people die because of drinking and driving? Okay, do you know how many people die because of liver failure, because of alcohol? Okay, but they're not going to ban it. Okay, don't you find it funny? They are the most dangerous substance, but they're somehow legal. Okay, cocaine is illegal, heroin is illegal, meth is illegal. Heck, even like muscle relaxants, drugs, okay, they are illegal as well. I mean, if you take it without doctor's prescription. But hey, alcohol, you don't need prescription. You can just walk into any 7-Eleven, buy alcohol to your heart's content, drink to your heart's content. Okay, even you die on the street, you are not going to make alcohol illegal. Never. Okay, because it's too much of a business. All right, so that's your alcohol, okay, your yeast. All right, so soy sauce is made from the fermentation of yeast and lactobacillus. We use yeast and lactobacillus to make soy sauce. You know, soy sauce, ketchup. Okay, so you see, ketchup, they taste different from salt. Yes, they are both salty, but salt is that plain salty taste. Soy sauce has that a little bit of sour and sweet and salty taste to it. That's why soy sauce makes everything so appetizing. Okay, so vinegar is made by oxidation of ethanol into acetic acid to produce vinegar. So vinegar comes from alcohol too. Okay, so we change this alcohol into acid and you get a vinegar. So that's why vinegar, they kind of smell a little bit like alcohol. A bit lah, okay, a bit like alcohol. Right, so you might say, sir, then how about bread? Why bread got no alcohol one? Since just now you say, yeast will make alcohol, ma. Then if I use yeast on bread, bread should have alcohol, right? Yes, bread has alcohol. It's just that you don't taste it because when I bake bread, baking is 100 something degrees, the alcohol already evaporated. It was there. So if you eat the dough raw, you should taste alcohol. Before baking, you should taste alcohol. After baking, the alcohol is no more. All right. So next one, Agriculture, this nitrifying bacteria, I will talk about this next year, because this nitrifying bacteria is what you learn next year. So basically what is this? Nitrifying, okay, or nitrogen fixing is a process that you change nitrogen into nitrate. Okay, what is nitrogen? Nitrogen is nitrogen gas in the air. Doesn't mean bread is not halal? No, it is halal because the alcohol is no more. The alcohol is no more. But I would say this sometimes halal and non-halal it's a very thin line to, it's sometimes very thin line. Okay, what if the bread has a little bit of alcohol? You see, even they say vaccine, right? They say, oh, certain vaccine is halal, certain vaccine is non-halal. How do you determine this? Okay, you have to know whether something is halal or not. It's a standard set during times of Nabi Muhammad. It was like what, 1,000-something years ago. You have to use a 1,000-something-year-old standard on today's standard. It's weird. Okay, it's not applicable to today's society. You see, I have a bunch of Malay friends. They don't drink alcohol, okay, obviously, because it's non-halal. But in their Quran, it says that any drug is non-halal, okay, because it changes the way your brain thinks. But what about steroid? Okay, tons of them take steroid. I know a lot of Malay friends in the gym, they take steroid. Steroid is a drug. But why are they taking it? Because they say it's not, they never say in the Quran it's non-halal. But come on, it's a drug. But they say, oh, it doesn't change the way your brain thinks, so it's considered as halal. Okay, so as I said, this is a very subjective thing. Okay, so as like I said you see, vegetarian, what makes you a vegetarian? Okay, I have asked a lot of vegetarians to eat egg. Some vegetarians say they do, some vegetarians say they don't. So where do you draw the line? It's very hard to say so. All right, so anyway, your nitrogen, you get nitrogen in the air, you change it into nitrate. Nitrate is the fertilizer. All right, okay, this is the process of what we call nitrogen fixation. Okay, I will talk about this next year. Okay, don't you worry. Okay, this is for next chapter already. And of course, biological control. We can use microorganism as what do we call it again? As a parasite. Okay, if you have a certain pest like beetles and caterpillars that attacks your crop, you can have parasite and kill these things. Okay, use microorganism as a parasite and you kill these things so that they don't attack your crops. All right, so animal digestion. Okay, herbivores digestive tract, which is your cows. Okay, cows, you see, cows, they can digest cellulose. What is cellulose? Cellulose is cell wall. Can we digest cell wall? No, we can't. Whatever veggie you eat, whatever plant you eat, you're going to shit them out as fiber. Okay, cellulose is your fiber, is our fiber. We cannot digest fiber, but cows, they can. Why? Because in their stomach, they have a protozoa there, they have a bacteria there, they will produce cellulase. Okay, they have that enzyme in them to produce this thing to help them digest their cellulose. We don't have it. Okay, we used to have it in our appendix few million years ago before we evolved. Now we evolved already, we evolved to eat meat, we evolved to become omnivores. So our appendix just kind of lost its function. So our appendix today just sits there and do nothing because there's no more bacteria there. It doesn't digest cellulose for us. So they are just kind of pointless today. Okay, so you see, cows, they can do this. Okay, any herbivores basically cows, goats, whatever, they have this bacteria living inside them to help them to break this cellulose, get this cell wall. So unfortunately, another insect has this function too, which is termite. Okay, you know it's termite, right? Anai. When you have termite at your home, that means gone case all your wood is going to be chewed up by them. Okay, all your IKEA furniture will be gone. So same thing, they have this same bacteria or protozoa in their gut that produces this cellulase to help them digest this cellulose, which is an unfortunate case in this thing. Okay, in this case. So if you have termites at home, okay, you have to ask for the exterminator and kill these mother flippers because they reproduce like crazy and they're gonna ajak that gang and come and chew your wood up. Okay, so medicine, okay, we use this to produce insulin and penicillin and the vaccine. Okay, most of your medicines is produced by these things. Okay, I'll talk about this in week 4 video. Okay, so if you haven't attended week 4, okay, you do let me know. Okay, I think you message me right just now. Was it you? Okay, so I will send you the video. Okay, I'll send you the video. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop today lah, huh? All right, so that's it for this year. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. That's it for this year. All right, so this will be the last lesson for you already. Okay, if you need the week 4 video again, okay, let me know. I'll send it to you. And the next time I see you is gonna be maybe physical already. Okay, but definitely in January. Okay, maybe you still stay online. Okay, we'll still see each other. Okay, but anyway, that's it for this year. Okay, it's been a fruitful year. Okay, it's been a shitty year, but okay, hey, we made it work. All right, so thanks for coming. Okay, I've been seeing you for 1 year already. Okay, some of you do. All right, so I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year lah. Huh? Okay, have a happy holidays. I will see you again in January. All right, so do take care of yourself. Okay, happy Saturday, happy holidays to you. I will see you again. All right, so take care. See you soon then. Bye bye.